Multiple returns ahead of WrestleMania, Big E injury, possibly career ending, and a popular Impact star leaves the company. It's all in the wrestling news right now. We will start with some heartbreaking news that has occurred over the weekend. You may already know that Scott Hall is on life support. This is following complications of surgery. Kevin Nash has updated us on Scott Hall's status this morning, saying that once Scott Hall's family is present, then Scott will be taken off life support. A devastating turn of events this morning for a two-time WWE Hall of Famer. And of course, when we know more, we don't want to say too much more. Until then, all we really want to do is just send nothing but our love and best wishes to Scott Hall.
Yeah, it's just awful, absolutely awful. One of the goats, and yeah, all the love in the world to Scott Hall, his friends, his family. Kevin Nash releasing a very emotional statement on social media about it, and there's not much more we can say at this point, unfortunately. All the love in the world.
Now, moving on towards WrestleMania is fast approaching, and two major stars with presumably big plans for WrestleMania made their return over the weekend, didn't they?
Well, yeah, maybe in one case. I'm not so sure about the other. Becky Lynch, of course, with a big featured match at WrestleMania. She broke her larynx. She came back on Saturday night competing in a 4-on-3 handicap match in Columbus, Ohio. So people there not necessarily expecting to see the man. They saw the man. And that must have been a nice little surprise for sure. Meanwhile, on the blue side of things, Xavier Woods returning at a house show on the same night, on a SmackDown house show that is, teaming with Kofi Kingston, taking on Ridge Holland and Sheamus and the Usos in a triple threat tag team match. He had been recovering from a calf injury, so it's really, really great to see him back. The original plan for WrestleMania, it's reported that it was going to be Ridge Holland, Sheamus, and Pete Butch taking on all of the New Day. Obviously, that is very, very much in question. I would say it's probably pretty unlikely to happen because of Big E's injury on Friday Night SmackDown.
I'd assume that they would swap it out and make it a tag team match if they're going to. They would want to keep Kofi and Woods on the pay-per-view. They've got 2 days worth of shows to fill.
Yeah, of course.
So I think maybe you could go with Kofi and Woods versus maybe Ridge and Sheamus with Butch at ringside.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. It's a tremendous shame because I think that would have been an absolute barn burner.
Oh, they'd have had fun. And they'll still have fun. They will still have some fun. But sadly without Big E, who we have an update on this morning as well. So he was all smiles, bless him, over the weekend when the news broke about his injury from SmackDown. He reported over the weekend to say that the injury is his C1 and C6 vertebrae being fractured but not displaced, which is good because it means there's no surgery involved and it's just a case of rehabilitation on that injury, which is exciting news. On one hand. On another hand, an article by Dr. David Chow, who is a pro football physician, who's previously worked as a physician for WWE, was published over the weekend at Outkick.com. And Dr. David says, he talks about Big E's injury, saying the C6 fracture is likely a compression injury to the vertebral body. This likely requires immobilization but not surgery. One would anticipate a minimum of 3 months recovery with return to full function and activities. For his lower cervical injury, good news. The C1 fracture is most dangerous as the top cervical vertebrae is a ring and commonly associated with immediate death or complete paralysis. Thankfully, the fracture was not displaced and he'll not need surgery. However, this type of fracture often heals incompletely and it may mean the end of his wrestling career, which would be a horrible blow for someone like Big E, who has still so many more years on the clock.
For sure.
In the wrestling world.
I mean, yeah, there's certainly good news there. He's not going to need surgery. It's likely to heal, but the fact that it may not heal completely and may end his in-ring career is just it's been a really awful weekend for wrestling news.
It's been a dreadful weekend.
It's not been a fun one. So I don't know what to say about this.
There's nothing we can say, is there? We just
crap.
It just really is. We want to send our best to Big E as well, who and it's heartbreaking that this happens on the road to WrestleMania as well. Like, this is such a, however you feel about the way it's put together, like, WrestleMania is that marquee event of the year, and especially when you've got big plans on it. Yeah, to be taken out of it so close to the finish line is really rough.
You know what? He should have been in a WWE title match at WrestleMania as well. That's the thing. Like, he shouldn't have been in. I'm sure the 6-man would have been great. I think it would have been a really, really fun match. But they did him dirty with the title run. And now this, which is way more important than silly wrestling bollocks, let's face it. I don't care what match he's in. I just want to see him in matches still. But what an amazing guy to be there smiling, at the power of positivity, right?
Yeah.
Truly living by the catchphrase. And just what a guy. I said on the video with you, he's a man who is so universally beloved. And just seeing the outpouring of love and support for Big E over the weekend, his colleagues love him, the fans love him, everybody loves him, and it would be truly tragic if this is the end. So fingers crossed. We would hope so hard that this isn't.
Let's end on a final appearance for an Impact Wrestling star. Fala Bar is gone.
Yeah, I
love Fala Bar.
Fala Bar's really great, isn't he?
Fala Bar's brilliant.
I don't think he's going to struggle to get picked up somewhere, because he's so unique in both his sort of his appearance, his presentation, his wrestling style. He's really fun to watch, isn't he? He's really, really fun to watch. So I think that he'll be heading to one of the bigger boys, perhaps.
You reckon Fala Bar for AEW?
I reckon WWE.
Oh, really?
Legit, I really do. He's been there for 5 years. He's shown great improvement in that time as well. And he's just, I say this quite a lot, I feel, about a lot of wrestlers, but he's really consistently good, isn't he?
Consistently
that consistency is one of his strongest attributes. And just because of the way that he is, I can see him slotting into WWE and actually being used fairly well there as well.
Wow.
What do you reckon?
I never even thought of a WWE run. I thought maybe he's somebody that you could light up on some smaller indie promotions for a little while whilst he continues to build his stock again. Mm-hmm. I like the idea of him doing stuff in GCW. I think there's some fun to be had on that with that promotion with him. Maybe New Japan of America?
Yeah.
Him and Jonah throwing it down?
That would be nice.
That'd be a beefy boy battle, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd enjoy that a lot.
I like that.
I can get behind that.
All the best going forward in Fala Bar.
So do we know, has his contract just expired and they've decided not to renew? Is he?
At time of recording, we don't know all the details behind it. Numerous sources just saying that he is no longer with the company. Fala Bar himself, at time of recording, has not commented on why he's left as well. Okay. There have been a few people who have recently departed from Impact Wrestling. More a case of them just going, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm fine with you. Like AC Romero, who we had on Desert Island Graps, left recently, just saying like he just didn't feel like he was being utilized there. There's been a couple of isolated cases of people just saying, you know what, I don't feel like they're really that bothered about me being there, so I'm going to go and
that's disappointing
pursue my
to hear,
options.
isn't it?
I think it's a growing pains thing with a company, especially with AEW, with Impact Wrestling last year, who did so much stuff with AEW talent. The one thing that came from my chat with AC Romero was that when they started doing stuff with AEW guys, all of a sudden there was a few Impact guys on the periphery that got sort of lost in the shuffle of it all, despite the fact that they were sort of on hand and ready to go. They were told, oh, we've got plans for you. Then they would do these blocks of tapings with Impact and they go, actually, no, we changed our mind. We've got nothing for you. So I don't know whether Fala Bar has fallen foul of that. I imagine by the time this goes out, he may have put out a statement himself, or there may be more details about it. But I'm sure whatever he goes on to do next, a lot of love for Fala Bar, a Cultaholic this morning. Come tell me what your 3 favourite matches are that you'd watch while stranded on a desert island.
I had in my head that you'd already done him.
No.
Have you not done Fala Bar? He'd be great.
We have not been graced with the presence of Fala Bar.
Give him a ring.
Pick up the dog and bone.
Absolutely.
Or maybe a mobile.
Tom is streaming WWE 2K22.
Am I?
Yeah, you bloody are.
Oh, yeah,
Congratulations. My GM mode over on Twitch today. 1 p.m?
1 p.m. GMT, twitch.tv/Cultaholic. And then you're back carrying on my rise.
Oh, it's fun.
Do you know what?
It's really fun.
Are you like me?
No. Thankfully not.
2 things things I'm happy about on this Monday morning. Just two. One, that I'm shot of COVID. That's nice. And two, 2K22 is great.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's really good fun.
I was saying this on the stream, but so many people were almost, I feel, hoping for it to be bad. So they can go, oh, bloody 2K again. It's really bloody good. The career mode, my rise mode that I've been doing is a hell of a lot of fun. I'm 3 streams in. I've just reached SmackDown. It's great. Like, the story mode is really good. I've heard good things about the GM mode. You can find out for yourselves with Tom today on Twitch.
We'll give it a darn good thrashing at twitch.tv/Cultaholic, 1 p.m. GMT. Until then, stay safe. Love you, bye.